some of the bigger ones, like just because I've never like really done like a big national one, and that's how you get like the most exposure. Right. So to do something like Hard Rock or Western States, do well, would help my career out a lot. But yeah, I really want to do Hard Rock and UTMB over in Europe.
Oh yeah, you think at some point you're going to do that?
Yeah, I'd like to. Like, the mountain ones are my favorite ones. You know, now that I've figured out, like, the training for me that is good for 100 miles, I feel like now that I have that aspect dialed, I can do a lot better. For Leadville, I would try and go out on the weekends and run, like, 6 hours on Saturday, and then like another 5 on Sunday. And then for Pine to Palm, the one I did in Oregon, I stopped doing that, and I never really ran further than 20 miles. I just ran 20 miles like all the time. I tried to sort of accumulate the fatigue in my leg through weeks and months of training. And I think that helped me. In Leadville, I guess I was sort of deluded into thinking that the uphills were the hardest part, when in reality the downhills proved to be the hardest part. It's hard to find like a sustained long downhill here. We don't have like a 2-mile descent where you're just trashing your legs. And also, I hadn't really learned like how to run downhill really well, because I didn't need to, like living around here. So then I went out there, and Power Line, it's like one of the bigger descents there. You just go straight down underneath like this cut path under these power lines. And I just tried to bomb it as hard as I could. And it was so steep that you can't really do that. I ended up like trying to bomb it, but then having to stop really hard and use my quads to brake, and then bombing it again, and then having to stop again. I finished that climb or that descent. We were only 25 miles in, and my IT vans and quads were just done already. Since then, I've been working on like my downhill form and just trying to run harder downhills, and I think that's the thing that most people can improve on in the race, downhill, because you can make up so much time running downhill that if you just sort of pitter-patter downhill, which you can easily do.
There's the coconut tofu for it.
Thank you. So you think there's like an actual benefit from being out here? Is it in any way, or do you think it's just it's still just as hard,
I think a hill is a hill, honestly. Every time, like I usually spend the summers out west, and being out there and running these big hills, then I always come back and think, man, you go out to Morgan Monroe or run out to Tecumseh and just smoke it. Run this really fast time, and the uphills are going to feel like I'm running on, just complete concrete flat ground, and it's never the case. Full of like, we didn't have anything bigger than like, I don't know, a 200-foot climb when we were running today, but we probably had 15 of them, so it adds up. Well, I started running in high school. Before that, I played soccer. And then I was going to play soccer, and then the cross-country coach called me and was like, well, you should run, because I heard that you're a pretty good runner. And I was like, all right, I'll run. We had a family friend that said he was doing a 50-mile race, and I had never even heard of anything like that. I hadn't heard of Western States or what gels were, or shot blocks, or a handheld water bottle. I didn't know what any of that was. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll do that. It sounds fun. So then I called up my friend and roommate at the time, and I was like, oh, we got to run 30 miles tomorrow. And the furthest I had run before that was 8. So it's like, we got to run 30 miles tomorrow to train for this 50-mile race. And he's like, no thanks, but I'll ride my bike alongside of you. So he rode his bike alongside of me, and we did 30. I didn't know anything about nutrition either, so I didn't know what to eat. So I was like, oh, well, I guess we'll just, get some Snickers bars and just eat those. So he handed me Snickers bars because I was just eating those. And then I did one of the Dino races at Town Run. And that's where I met Russ Goodman. And then I heard from someone there that he had done like 1,000,000 100-mile races and 50-mile races. So then I started talking to him after, and we sort of exchanged emails. And then I started running with him, and he sort of taught me everything I know about it. I don't know that one's really harder, if you're racing all out, it's hard no matter what. That's one thing I try and tell people, whether you're running a 14-minute 5K or a 30-minute 5K, if you're all out, it's the same, So road and trail, I don't know, I think they're both. If you're all out, it's hard. While trail has more hills and more turns, you can't go as fast, but the effort's still there. In road, you don't have the hills or trails, hills or turns usually, but it's flat, so you go a lot faster. So the effort, is still the same. I just try and run, whatever I can, whatever other people want to run on a given run. Ideally, I guess I would like to get 140 miles in every week. It just doesn't happen. And sometimes, like, the previous 2 weeks prior to this one, I did 160 miles both weeks, so 320 miles in 2 weeks, and now this week I'm just like, I don't want to run today, Yeah, some days it's really hard, if it's cold or I've waited too long and it's dark, and I always just tell myself that no one ever feels worse after they run. It's not like, oh, you finished the run, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have gone out, wish I would have just stayed in and watched TV. You always feel better, It's just getting out the door. The hardest step is the first, and after that, you're 3 miles in, not feeling too bad, might as well get some more in. So, for me, it's just getting out the door every day, I guess. I run, almost 400 days consecutively, so, I have that streak going, and I don't see myself really ever breaking it unless I break my leg or something.
Water all the way downtown.
If I'm gonna run, I want to run until I can't run anymore. I want to run 140 miles a week. And I guess just in every part of my life, if I find a song that I like to listen to, I'll listen to it 100 times in a row until I burn out, and over and over again. And the same thing, like, with the food that I like. If I find a food that I like, I just want to eat it until I'm sick of it. When I was a kid, I remember I really liked honey bunches of oat, the cereal, and I ate it like 3 meals a day for like 3 weeks straight. I think there's definitely some sort of chemical imbalance or something going on when you're on it. People talk about, like, a lot of people, switch to running long distances from, addictions to other drugs. And I definitely think, probably some part of your brain is activated the same way when you're, doing cocaine or running or something. It's almost trading one addiction for another. So if I can just get, just even a few people, more interested in the trails and, being outside and thinking about things a different way, like, you don't have to just run 30 miles a week. Maybe you can't do 140, and you could probably do 60, Maybe you don't want to do a 100-mile race, but you could do a 50K, maybe a 50-mile race. And usually I just run 2 hours, 2.5 hours, so it's between a morning run and an afternoon run, only an hour to hour and a half each. It's really not that much time in the scheme of things if you think about how much time most people waste in a day, watching TV or just laying around.
Yeah.